In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a second Watched folder so that you can save files directly from your slicing software without having to save to the desktop and then upload later on. To get this to this point, you'll have had to watch Joe Mike's video on setting up Samba, and you'll have had to watch Chris Riley's video on how to set up a second instance of Octoprint. Once you've gotten that far, you can check this out, and this should help you set up that second folder. I'm also going to set up a folder for my time-lapse videos as well as the time-lapse videos on my second printer. I'll do everything all at once, so it should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so the goal here again is to be able to upload directly from my slicing software to my instances of Octoprint. As you can see, I have two. I'm able to, at this point, save directly to a Watched folder, which you can see here, and I've mapped it down here to CR10 as Watched. But logged into my Pi, I only have the Pi folder as well as the Watched folder shared. So the goal here is to have a second folder called Watched shared, as well as, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a time-lapse one so that you can pull your time-lapse videos directly from a network drive. So at this point I'm saving directly to my Watch folder for my CR10S, but when I try and do that with my Ender Pro, it also saves to my CR10S, and I would like to be able to do that to the Ender 3. So what we're going to do first is start up an instance of Putty, and there's other programs you can do this with, but I'm using Putty because I learned to do this from Joe Mike's video, so I suggest using it as well, unless you have something better or something that you're used to. We're going to log into the Pi using your regular username and password, and I'll have in the description all of the text files that you can copy over to the Putty instance so that it makes it a little easier. Something I didn't know when I was watching Joe Mike's video is to copy and paste. You do Control-C on your notepad, and then you can right-click in the Putty instance so that it pastes it that way. You can't hit Control-V like you normally would. So before we do edit the config file for Samba, we're going to do a quick update. I've already done this, so mine's going to be really short. Yours can be longer depending on how long ago you did an update. So we'll do a quick update. Oh, okay, that's quick. And then you're going to do a quick upgrade here as well. The -Y is to not have to type in yes for memory. And Joe Mike does a good job of explaining that. So again, I don't have any upgrades to do. The first time I did the upgrade, it took like 10 minutes. I hadn't done it in quite some time. So now that that's been updated and upgraded, you're going to want to do a reboot. And that's going to kill my instance of Putty, so I'll have to reconnect. And I believe you can just hit restart session, but I'll show you how to start a new one. I'm going to hit open, and if my Pi is rebooted, I should be able to connect right away. Okay, so Pi, type in your password again, and now we can get into editing the Samba file. So you're going to copy this. I've got that in the description. You'll go into your Putty instance, right-click to paste, and you'll have to type in your password again. And now you can't use your mouse to scroll anymore. If you try and scroll, you're just going to be scrolling the window. I'll make that big. What you want to do is use your keyboard to push the down arrow, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. This is where Joe Mike says to paste the original instructions, which is this section right here. So what's in the brackets is the name that your Windows will be looking for, or will display, I guess. So whatever you call this, watched, is what shows up when you're accessing the file through your Windows Explorer. So all we're going to do is we're going to change this path, or add a path. So watching Chris Riley's video, he's calling his second instance of Octoprint, Octoprint2. And everything else will be the same. So there's going to be a watched folder, there's going to be a Timelapse folder. All of the same things that are on a regular Octoprint installation, you'll see an Octoprint2 installation, just with this portion here renamed. So I've already done this once, so I have the text. It'll be in the description again. You can just select it and copy it in. So Control C, go back to your nano, and right click to paste. So when I did this the first time, I had a spelling mistake and I had a space next to the watch 2, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't share it, and it's because I wasn't typing it in correctly. So you can see the only difference between the original watched folder and the second one is that this 2 is in here. Another mistake I made is having 2 behind this watched, but the actual folder that you're sharing is actually just watched, again, not watched 2. This 2 here renames the folder so you don't have 2 folders called the same, and you can differentiate between the 2. Timelapse is exactly the same. There's a folder in Octoprint called Timelapse where your timelapse is saved to. I want to be able to access them from a mapped drive, so that's how you do that, and I want to be able to do that on both my printers. So on the second instance of Octoprint, I do the same thing. So Control O saves the file, hit enter, and then Control X exits out of the nano editing program. So everything is good to go. I'm now going to reboot the Pi, so sudo reboot. That's going to kick me out of PuTTY, and we're done doing any editing in there. So I'll close out of that. You can see here my server is offline, so that's my Pi is just rebooting. I'm going to go to the Windows Explorer now. So this is what it looked like before. As soon as my Pi's been rebooted, if I go back into here, I'll have my new shared folders. So I can access them here. If I go into my watched folders, they're going to be empty because I haven't saved any files, and Octoprint basically removes them from this folder as soon as they upload. But you can see now I have access to both sets of folders. They're called whatever it is I called them in our setup. I have our time lapse, and here they are here. So I have some time lapses in there already. I have some time lapses on my ender as well, and there they are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map them so that I have access, so that I can see them, I suppose, from my slicing software. So all you do is you right click and you say map network drive, and I'm going to call this V just because it's next to the W. I called it W because that's what Joe Mike did. So simple. There it is. So I already renamed this Ender 3, so you can see here it's called Ender 3. Otherwise, it'll just be called Watch 2. So I'm going to go back into the Pi, and to do that, I'm just going to type in the Pi address, and I'm going to repeat the process for the time lapse. I'm going to map network drive. I'm going to call it T because that makes sense. And I'm going to go in one more time to add my Ender 3 time lapse folder, and map network, I'm just going to call this one S, and that's got her. So now I have access to all of my drives just by clicking on here. They show up just like a USB drive or like a hard drive would on your computer. So now if I go over to my slicing program, you can see I've got something ready to go. If I go prepare to print and I click save toolpaths, I can save it directly to my Ender 3. So I'm going to call this Ender 3 test, and I'm going to save another one to my CR10 watched folder. We'll call this one CR10 test. And now if we go to our instances of Octoprint that are both running, we'll connect to the two printers. And here you can see it's uploaded it directly from the slicing software rather than having to come in and hit the upload. You have Ender 3 test and you have CR10 test G-codes all ready to go. So hopefully that was pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, ask them in the description. I don't know that I'm going to be able to help you. Chris Riley or Joe Mike are better resources for that. But hopefully that was simple enough. And thanks for watching.